Hey, what is up guys? Welcome back to my channel. As you can tell by the title, this week's video is going to be about mental health and college. If you don't know my situation, I am now a senior at Stetson University. Every time I say that, I think about my room tour video that I did sophomore year. I accidentally said that I was a senior when I meant to say sophomore, and then I was like, imagine if it was senior year already. Like, that's crazy. And I'm going into my senior year. Senior year? Hello? No. My sophomore year. Imagine if it was senior year already. That'd be foolish. Anyways. And now it is. Where has the time gone, bitch? I'm no longer at school. The semester's over. Well, the semester's been over for a while now. I just, needed a little break before I could get back on my YouTube grind. Not only that, today is the last day of May, which means it's the last day of Mental Health Awareness Month. And I thought, what better time to make a video about mental health in college than Mental Health Awareness Month, Before we get on to the video, make sure to like and subscribe, comment down below what videos you want to see next, turn on post notifications so that you see when I already post, and follow me on social media. Links will be in the description. We'll be in the description box down below. That's it for now, guys. So let's just get on to the video. So to start this video off, I'm going to be talking about my history dealing with mental health. Where I started taking my mental health seriously was at the end of last year, so sophomore year. I was just burnt out. Like, I didn't want to get out of bed. I didn't want to go to class. I didn't want to do anything. I was unmotivated. I was physically out of shape. And I just knew that I had to change. Not only that, I was dealing with a lot of things that I had gone through way back, like years and years before. All the things that I was feeling back then started reoccurring, and I knew that I had to deal with my past. By the end of sophomore year, I even made a video about everything that I gone through. Here it is. I just was so angry and frustrated with everything. Didn't want to be at school anymore. I wasn't taking care of myself, wasn't working out, was eating terribly. I was using sex to cope with what I was going through. It just was a tough time. I felt like after the semester was over, I would be better. Everything would be automatically go back to normal. And that was not the case because I hadn't dealt with anything. All that changed was that I wasn't in school, but I still had the same issues, So I went to a therapist near in my area. I explained to him everything that I was going through, and what I didn't realize was that I wanted to put the blame on everybody else and not take responsibility for what my own hand and my own, I don't want to say demise, that's so dramatic, but my own problems. I just was I'm so unmotivated and I'm so burnt out and this, that, and the third, but didn't want to talk about how I was completely stretching myself way too thin. So after that session, I got back on track a little bit. I started working out more, getting my physical body in shape, and I started focusing on doing things that made me happy, hang out with friends and getting back into art and music and this, that, and the third. And so I started off the next semester, fall 2021, with a clear mind and a clear head. So when fall 2021 started, everything was good. Where things got shaky was when I got into a relationship with my then boyfriend. There was just a lot of conflicts in that relationship. There was things that I was doing that wasn't right. There was things that he was doing that wasn't right. We didn't work well together, as well as we thought. It felt like a chore being in that relationship almost. So I'm dealing with school, dealing with work, dealing with all this stuff, and then on top of that, I'm in a relationship that I'm not really happy in. We ended up breaking up by the end of the semester, and I kind of felt like a weight was lifted off of me a little bit. It just felt like that was something that I didn't have to deal with anymore. But then came financial problems. I had a car payment that was due every fucking 2 weeks, and I'm so sick of that. I only made just enough to afford to pay for the car, which meant that I didn't have anything left for anything else, food or anything. This is around November 2021-ish. At the end of that semester, that's when I decided that I wanted to utilize Stetson's counseling services. I'm gonna link that down below, so for my incoming freshmen or for people who already go to Stetson, you can see what that's like. But because I was at the end of the semester, they didn't have the capacity to take any new people, so I couldn't go do counseling as full-time as I wanted to by that time. But what I could do was plan out going to counseling full-time for the next semester, so that's what I did. So I met with my counselor, shout out to Megan, hey girl, and we were talking about what I looked forward to getting out of it, what was I there for basically. And I explained to her I want to make sure that when those dark times come, I know how to get myself out of it basically. So winter break goes by and the new semester has started. The first week of the semester, I was already over it. That was when we had UCA College Nationals, which I made a video about that. And not only that, we had a choir conference in Tampa. So I had to go from the choir conference to nationals within the span of like a day. Like, it's the first week of school. I'm trying to relax. I'm trying to get my head prepared for like my academic life and all that. And I'm sitting here worried about singing and cheering and all this stuff. And I'm like, this is not where I need to be focused on. Not only that, I started my job as a residential assistant. So that was another thing. So not only did I have to go and leave school in the middle of the week to go to the conference and nationals, I had to move out of my dorm right after I came back to move into my new dorm because that's where I was going to be a residential assistant. So it's already too much. Essentially, like the whole semester, I just felt like I worked so hard to be prepared. All these extracurricular activities was kind of like undoing all the hard work that I had just put in. Here's the thing about that. I accept my responsibility for choosing to do those things, but my problem was that I felt like the people who were running these like organizations, whether it be music, whether it be cheerleading, they work us so hard and never stop to consider how we're doing. They're just like, oh yeah, you can do it. You guys are great. Keep going. No, like we need breaks sometimes. We're not getting paid to do anything. Well, some things. But like for the most part, like you can't work somebody so much and then get mad at them when they're not producing their best work. So around the middle of the semester, I'm gonna say this is like early March-ish, I was at my breaking point. I was so exhausted, so worn out, so tired of just continuing to like push myself. I remember one of the sessions with my counselor, I broke down. I did. By the end of the session, she was like, do I need to be worried about you like harming yourself basically? And I was like, I don't know. And that was what scared me the most because I'm like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. Like I can't continue to like live like this. So I don't know what's gonna happen after we log off. I say log off because we were on Zoom. And then I started breaking down because I started thinking about this girl who took her life. And I just started thinking about like what she was going through and like how she had a whole life ahead of her. And now like she's not here anymore. I didn't feel like Stetson really took precautions to prevent that. So I'm sitting here crying. My counselor's crying. We just both crying. I always thought to myself, like, no matter how bad I was feeling, like I would never harm myself or take my own life or anything like that because I understand that there are people who love me and care about me. And at that point, I was like, it is becoming very hard to want to continue to be on this earth. That was dark. But that's how I was feeling. That was how I was feeling. I couldn't sit in that. But I did allow myself to feel what I was feeling. And I think that's something I had never done before. I had never allowed myself to feel depressed, to feel angry, to feel frustrated. I think I always was like, okay, I feel this way, but now I need to fix it, now I need to get out of it. And I think that was what was contributing to my feelings of being burnt out the most because I never allowed myself to even be upset. But this time I was like, I need to feel everything. I need to allow myself, give myself time to feel that hurt and that pain. So the last thing I want to talk about is how to fix it. Like, how do you get better? Really understand that you have to have accountability for yourself. You have to understand, like, what did you do? Like, what hand did you play in everything? That used to frustrate me, that kind of mindset, because I'm like, if I'm going through it, like I didn't choose to hurt myself, so why is it that I have to like do the work and like try to fix it? It's not my fault. And that's very understandable. However, if you're suffering with depression because of an experience that you've had from somebody else, at the end of the day, they're not gonna like take you to therapy. They're not gonna sit down and talk to you about your problems. It's you who has to go out and do that, and it's unfortunate, but it's what has to happen in order to get better. Whatever you're feeling, it could be anxiety, it could be depression, it could be anger, it could be anything. Allow yourself to feel that way. Allow yourself to be upset. I think that one of the biggest reasons why people don't get better or they continue to have the same issues is because they feel depressed, but then they move on to like try and fix it when they don't even understand like how to fix it because they don't know what to fix because they haven't given themselves the opportunity to feel what they feel. I know that was a lot. You have to really listen to your body before you can move on to like trying to fix the problem. Once you understand what your problem is, talk to somebody. A lot of my friends who have had mental health issues, they always say, I tried and it didn't work. But the thing about mental health is that that it doesn't stop. You don't just go to a therapist one time and that's it. You may not even go to a therapist twice and fix it. Like, it's a continuous process. My last piece of advice would just be like, find things that you love, get back to doing the things that you used to do. For me, that was like art. I used to be really big into like painting and drawing, and then when I got to like middle school, I kind of stopped because I kind of fell in love with performing arts. But when I can't do that, painting and things, that's like therapeutic, if that makes sense. So that's it for my little spiel about mental health and college. If you are a Stetson student, incoming freshman, or you're already enrolled, or you're just a college student in general and you have questions about mental health, please put them down below. I'd love to answer it. I love answering you guys' questions. I think that mental health, especially mental health as a student, is something that we don't get the chance to talk about a lot. And so I wanted to make sure that I can create a space that is open and free to talk about mental health issues, mental health questions, anything mental health. I always say, look, you can't be there for somebody else unless you're there for yourself first. How can you do your best in academics or sports or work if you're not okay mentally? I'm also going to link the Stetson Counseling Services website in my description box for my Stetson students, just so that you can see like what it's like how it works. And if you decide that you want to go to counseling full time in this upcoming semester, which I highly suggest, that's exactly how you're going to be able to do it. What else? Oh, I have created a second channel here on YouTube. It is a channel dedicated to everything musical theater. I realized at the end of this semester that I have not done much fulfilling work in terms of theater, because theater at Stetson just isn't what I thought it would be. And I don't have time as a student to go out and do professional theater or like community theater. So this channel is going to be how I can satisfy that hunger for musical theater, basically. The channel is called Josh the Actor. I'll link it down below as well. I haven't posted any videos on it yet because I wanted to make sure that I made this video first. After I edit this and upload this, that's when I'll start focusing on that channel more. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. I hope each and every one of you got something from it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Comment down below what videos you want to see next, and turn on post notifications so that you see whenever I do post. Again, thank you so much for watching. I love you guys. Till next time, and I will see you later. Bye, guys.
My last name fits you better. When I'm with you, there's no pressure. I miss your worn out sweaters. Weather couldn't compromise.